What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are tearing down the Barra. Just stopped by O'Reilly's to pick up harmonic balancer puller because I do not have one. Gonna see if we can get this thing completely torn down. If we can, that'd be nice. That way I can hurry up and get this block and head and everything dropped off at a machine shop. Got a recommendation for a shop here in Charlotte. My buddy says he uses them all the time, so hopefully they do a good job. But let's get started on tearing this down. So for those of you that don't know, this is a 4-liter inline 6 made by Ford for Australia. You can get them turbo in the Falcon XR6s and I believe a couple other cars. I'm not 100% sure to hold me to that. I bought this motor and then Luke, the homie who painted the car with me, picked it up for me in Texas, and then we had it freighted over here. So I'm going to get it torn down because I'm doing a full build on this. I'm probably not going to do cams or a crank. If I can, just get the crank polished, assuming everything on the inside's okay. I have not torn into it all yet. I do know that it does turn over and it feels like it has good compression, but we're gonna get into this thing and see how it looks. This is my first time attempting to do a time-lapse video. If you guys don't see the time-lapse, that means it did not come out good, but I'm gonna try it out right now and see how it goes. Hopefully it comes out good. You guys can see me tear this motor down. Let's get into it. So I don't know a ton about the Barra. I've watched enough though, and I'm pretty sure these bolts right here all go through the oil pan into the main caps. So I'm gonna pop all these out and then get the oil pan off, so that way I can get the timing off and I can get the cams out and everything. It looks like this pan is already cast for like an oil return line for the turbo. So that's awesome. That means when I can take this pan off, well, actually I'm not even using this pan. Damn, okay, never mind. So I need a rear sump pan, but it is cool. The pan's already cast to have the turbo drain in there, which is really cool. So, I mean, I guess if anybody needs a front sump pan, let me know. But, yeah, let me work on getting these main cap bolts out. got the timing off, the cams out, exhaust manifold off. The exhaust manifold is 2 pieces, and whenever this thing was running, I'm pretty sure it was leaking because that is loose. So there's no way that seal is stopping any exhaust gases. Multi-layer steel gasket, that looks okay. Everything comes off without much issue. Cams came out pretty decently. Here's where things take a turn for the south a little bit. I was planning on reusing these cams, but after looking at them, they're all pretty corroded. So I don't think that's going to be happening, which is unfortunate, but I mean, whatever. Just add it to the list of things I need to import. So we've got cams out, timing's out, guides are out, all the front covers off. Need to get the oil pan off, and then it'll be the head. And that's pretty much it, honestly. So not a whole lot more. Oh, well, then I got to get the bottom end out, but that's not a huge deal. I'll look at that stuff when I get the oil pan off. I will say all the cam journals are in really, really good shape, which is very reassuring. A little bit of stuff in some of them, but they're all in really good shape. I don't see any deep grooves or anything like that, which is nice. Just judging based off the cams, though, I'm hoping there's no more of that in the rest of the motor. So we'll see. I'll update you guys when I get further. All right, y'all. So off camera right now, I got the block with the arms in the right spot now, so I was able to get the pan off. This is my first time looking inside of this pan, but it is pretty nasty. I will say I don't see any metal. It's a little bit on the sludgy side, though. I do not see any sparkles, though, which is a good sign. I don't think a bearing is wiped out or anything. So we will keep on rolling here. I think next I'll get the head off. That way I can just flip the motor upside down pretty easily. All right, let's get to going. All right, y'all, heads off. So this cylinder right here, this piston, got a little bit of rust on it. So if I had to guess, whenever this thing got pulled and it was stored, one of the valves is open for this cylinder, and I'm probably the intake because there was no intake manifold on it. So that's probably why these cams got corrosion in the lobes. Just a little bit of water got in there. Thankfully, I mean, it's not bad at all. Like, it's a little bit of on the top right there. And if I turn it over real quick, turns over real nice and smooth. Nothing's locked up on it. You can see the little bit of corrosion on that cylinder, but nothing that's riding this motor off for me, so that's good. With how much black is on these pistons, I feel like this was a gasoline engine, which is strange. Maybe somebody converted it to gas at some point in its life, which is probably why the intake was gone. I imagine that the regular gasoline intake manifolds with injectors and a fuel rail probably more valuable than the CNG manifold, but time to flip this thing over. I'm going to take this oil filter off. I might cut it open and see if I can get a sample or something from this oil. Get it sent out, and that way I can learn more about the life of this motor. Do need to get that oil pump off real quick. Then I'll flip it over and start popping rod bearings off. All right, motor's completely torn down. Got the crank out, got all the pistons out. All of the rod bearings are in pretty good shape. Let's see if I can show you guys. They're a little bit dirty, but there's nothing that was like, looks like it was knocking or anything, which is good news. So rod bearings are in good shape. All the main bearings looks to be okay. None of them have like pitting in it or anything. There's a couple like small grooves, but nothing that I can feel with my nail. But all that's getting replaced anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Nothing got spun, which is nice. Let me flip the motor back over and we'll take a look at all the bores. So let me see if I can get some light on all this. You can still see a crosshatch. That one's a little bit worse for wear. Nothing that my fingers can catch. This looks like where this one was sitting. You see that hard line right down there. But this motor's in pretty good shape, which is good for me. That means when I send this block off to the machine shop, I could just have it honed. I won't have to punch it out any. They should just be able to clean up the deck without having to take a whole lot off, so I won't have to get like a super thick head gasket or anything, change the compression ratios, which is great. So cool. I'm gonna get these last couple sensors out of here and I'll get ready for the machine shop. All right, y'all, that's gonna conclude episode 1 of the Barra build for the Mustang. This is exciting. So obviously we never got here in the United States, so this is gonna be cool. I do have to get new cams. I am going to be getting new internals like rods, pistons. I'm not going to replace the crank because I don't have to. All the cam journals look okay. All the no bearings look like they got spun or anything like that. I'm going to check the oil a little bit better with a flashlight and make sure there's no sparkles in there. But even if there is, not a huge deal. None of the bearings look like they got spun. All this is great news for the rebuild. That means I can send it off to the machine shop and it's not going to need a lot of machining work. So I should just be able to get new gaskets, new head gasket, everything like that. I'll have to look into what rods and pistons I want to get for this. The goal is 600 to 700 wheel horsepower. I would like to make it capable of doing 1,000. We'll see what that happens, but there she is. It's exciting. So I'm gonna get the garage cleaned back up, and so eventually I'll work on getting the 3.7 and MT82 put out of the Mustang. It's a little bit, probably when I have a little bit more space. I'm thinking about trying to get a shed out here so that way I can store some of this extra stuff. That would probably include like this motor and trans when it comes out. But once that's all out, then I can start figuring out wiring, all that kind of stuff. I won't weld the new core support on until pretty much the motor's ready or already in. That would make it easier in terms of pulling it in and out, because the only thing I should have to make custom would be engine mounts. Ford Performance sells the T56 swap kit for s197s. That includes cross member and everything, and a drive shaft. So that way I put the drive shaft and T56 in, I'll just bolt the Barra to the T56, and that's going to decide where I have to make the engine mounts. So it's going to be a process for sure, but ball is rolling now, and I'm just going to keep it going. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments. I'll see if I can answer them for you. Be sure, if you guys want to know more about this engine, just check out all the other videos on YouTube. A lot of information from overseas on this motor. I've been trying to learn more about it, so my goal is to be fluent in understanding how this engine works. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.